Hi there, it's Shanda Sumter with Moms Making Millions, and I have a great guest with me today, Vanessa Horn. They can see you, Vanessa. Hi.
Hello. I'm excited to be here.
Yes. Vanessa and I were joking a little bit because she's got one home today. She's the mother of three, and I have my little guy here as well. And I'm doing this interview from my home office right now. And I rolled out of bed and started doing webinars really early this morning. And this is a product of a mom having about 5 minutes to get ready for a video interview, but doing it anyways. So I share that with you because things just look a little different for moms. We're juggling a few different things to make things happen and to make a difference in the world. So hopefully this interview is going to be amazing. Vanessa Horn has got some great experience around what it's like to be in a marriage, keep the marriage tight, be a mom of three boys. I have so much respect. And still have this ambition and this drive to make great money and to put her signature programs out into the world. And I think that we're going to get some great insight on some business tactics as well as some mommy tactics along the way. So, Vanessa, welcome to Moms Making Millions.
I am super excited to be here. I'm passionate about empowering moms to do everything that they can, really, because if many of the people who are watching this are probably like me, who said, I can't just stay home and do puzzles. I have something to contribute and create in the world outside of that. And so balancing both and doing both well, it's something that we all, iron sharpens iron, as I like to say, help each other.
Yeah, it's critical. We were even talking about that, about different business things you're doing today, how it just kind of things pass down through great people and great people share great tactics with each other. And then you just all grow. It's very cool. It's a very cool system of generosity. So tell everybody who you are and a little bit of your story of your past and why you are where you are today and what you're doing today so that they can get a good snapshot on who you are.
Sure. So right now what I'm doing is helping individuals who feel like they have their own body of work that they want to bring out into the world. And we have a company division called Signature because I believe each one of us has our unique contribution. So what I'm doing is helping individuals package that into high-end programs, create premium brands, create high-end clients, and do their best work. And so we have an agency that also does done for you in helping our clients bring that out into the world. My background is also in network marketing. I have an income stream from that. I teach multiple income streams and was a top earner in that industry. So I work with a lot of top leaders, helping them create their signature programs or their team programs, and also a training division on how to get to the top in network marketing without burning out, selling out, or losing out, as I like to say. And I've been married 17 years. And of those 17 years, it was my kids that motivated me to be an entrepreneur. So I left corporate when I found out that I was having my firstborn, which was 14 years ago, and launched my first business. First, it was a franchise, and then transitioned to network marketing, and now my own coaching and consulting business.
I see a lot of that, people going from network marketing into owning their own business as well. And they're both great. Like I told you, my family made all their money in network marketing. However, you still don't own that. You know what I mean? It's beautiful to be able to start another stream on top of that as well. So I love the work that you're doing because you're sharing that it's possible. A lot of people I've found in network marketing are actually even afraid of creating their own business because of having people inside their MLM company actually look down upon that. And so I think it's neat that you're kind of putting a stake in the ground and saying, you know what, everything's possible. It's your business. Your network marketing business is your business. And if you want to create another stream that's 100% your business, it would actually be smart, right?
Yeah, and it was interesting because this last month I helped two new individuals create their own programs and launch it. And their first month they made $13,000 to $17,000.
That's great.
And I said, you know what? In network marketing, I could help them achieve that kind of volume, but you're earning roughly about 8% commission on that. So to have take-home money that's actually in your pocket, I was like, this is really one of the most powerful ways to have something you own create immediate income.
Yeah, I love that you are bold enough to share that, because I think that I think people sometimes just do that or just do that, and it's just really cool, because the whole reason why somebody even first of all, MLM teaches you how to be a great salesperson. And you get to wear one hat with a product that works, hopefully, that you choose, that you get to wear one hat and do it really well. And to be a successful entrepreneur, you really have to be a great salesperson, you know? And so it teaches you how to do that, but then to be able to put on that other hat and own that piece too. Like, there's going to be ups and downs of both, as you and I were talking about.
And
right?
I've also discovered that, there's people who know network marketing really well, and then there's people who know the coaching world really well, but to create both without sabotaging one or the other. And I really teach that you need to be making six figures in one before you diversify. Otherwise, you're not getting traction or momentum in either one. And so keeping laser focused, but how you can leverage anything that you do to have multiple streams of income.
Yeah. It's and again, I like that as well, and I'll echo you and support you on that as well, because it's getting one plate up and rolling before you get another plate up and rolling is important. It's super important. We teach that even in business, period. Like, we have multiple streams of income inside of Hardcore. We have cross programs that come in. We have, one-on-ones. We have multiple group programs. We have but it's all multiple streams of income, so that if something happens to me, it's still running. And in fact, you can take me right out of my company now. I took 110 days off last year. You can take me right out of my company now, and it runs as if I'm not there. So that's the way you want to build a business. So I love that you're doing that, and I think that's smart. And anybody who's watching this that's in MLM and you're struggling, I think it's important to reach out to Vanessa and talk to her about how she's doing it with her clients and how you can do it too, and then possibly talk to her about the consideration of actually building something else on the side that is 100% yours, that you can control, make the decisions on. So, mommy of three.
And live to tell about it.
I live to tell about it. The word balance has been an interesting conversation through. This is really a research project for me around moms, and there's some things I'm doing great, and there's some things that I'm like, okay, there's got to be another way to do this, right? And I think everybody can agree on the fact that we use the word balance, but it's really a juggling game. Right? It's like, okay, it's like, how do you keep the balls up? Sometimes it feels like just keep the balls up. And then how do you do it well so that, you still stay intact as a woman, and you're a beautiful, powerful woman. But, one of the things that you are really clear about is the power of maintaining your marriage in a way that it's thriving through all of these situations. And 3 kids, like, I have 1. And we want another one, and we are developing. We saw the very real need of, like, it's really easy to have baby Zach need all of our attention. You know what I mean? Even with a nanny, but we both have careers. We both are triathletes. We both, you know what I mean? So life's just big, And so what do you think has been your secret amongst all the crazy town moments to be able to keep your marriage in a good position?
One of the most critical things that I've discovered is saying yes to less. So when you said, like, juggling all the balls, you better be really, really clear what balls you're juggling, because I had to just give myself permission to let some balls drop in those times where it felt like there was too much going on. So it's like, no, you know what? I'm going to give myself permission to drop those balls, because these are really the ones I want to be holding. And so one of the exercises that I do with my clients is we identify everything on a scale of 1 to 10. What are those things that are less than a 10? And can they be a 10? If not, they need to be delegated elsewhere. They need to be said no to, so that you focus on your 10s, and you're really, really clear about what things you're giving attention to, what things are delegated to others, and what things that you might love and think are great and are good, and you're just saying, you know what, it's not the season for that right now. And there's partially a fear of missing out that has us say yes to too much, or there's a not having the clarity of what our activities should be in our business that are going to really yield the best returns. And so we're doing a shotgun approach, when really, to get grounded, we need to come back together and say, okay, this is what we're saying yes to. this is what we're saying no to, and this is what we're delegating. And it's not just a solo conversation. And my husband and I do those things. And we identify together. What are we doing and why? And what are we willing to give up? What are we not willing to give up? And then there's a certain element of faith for the parts that you're like, I don't want to give that up. Can I still achieve my goal?
Yeah.
But that's where you get to prove to yourself that even when you said no to that I believe in divine partnership with God on our co-creation in the world. And so there's an element of faith of like, okay, this is what I have to give. Let's go and create with this. And I'm not going to say yes to anything that's less than a 10 for me.
Oh, I love that. Less than a 10. So it's measured. Let me ask you a question. Tell us about one time in your life where things got a little hairy that you guys had to start developing systems.
Oh, somebody asked me the question, Vanessa, how many times do you tweak or course correct? Is it about once a year? And I said, daily. I'm constantly paying attention to what's working, what's not. Do I enjoy these clients or not? Does this light me up or not? Is this a 10 or a 9.9? Constantly, the only way you're going to create a level 10 life is by saying yes to the 10s in the moment. So I'm evaluating always, okay, less of those kinds of clients. No to that client. I don't care if I can get the money. And just really staying clear. So as an example, a year ago, we launched a particular brand, and it was a $250,000 launch in the first couple of months that we launched it online, and it was helping people create their signature work and market it online for high-end clients. And it was nutty, how launches can be. And one of the key principles of our company that we stand on is creating from a place of grace and ease versus pushing, driving, striving. And my husband's like, hey, listen, maybe you need to get this launch done, go to the hotel if you need to, get it done, because it's harder having you here not being present than it is for you not to be present. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Let's regroup. What's going on? Because this is not something I'm willing to
Not okay.
Yeah. And so one of the things that I did was sit down again and evaluate what are my values and why.
Yeah.
It got me really, really clear on what I was creating. And it helped me to identify certain things that we were no longer willing to do, certain things that were on our team that were adding stress. Okay, that needs to be changed, or those team members need to be removed, and recreate. And so we did another launch, and it was so gorgeous because it felt like it was from that place of grace and ease, and it was not from a driving and striving energy. And we just gracefully did a launch that next month, just $63K in that month, without all the craziness that we'd just done in the prior months. And then we've been able to sustain that in a graceful way that meant not having more team members. It was like being really choosy about who were the ones we were saying yes to. My husband and I being on the same page. Me being willing to say, okay, let's not do that just because we think it'll bring in more revenue. And instead, how can we do it more streamlined and still get the same results? So we're constantly evaluating that. And it's why we keep our model super, super simple. I don't believe personally, we don't do social media. We don't do you have to have a fancy website. We don't do blogging. We don't do all those things, and still been able to create in that particular division a $500,000 business, and just keeping very, very streamlined in the focus of what we do. And so those are examples of things that we've done when it's gotten hectic to regroup and say, okay, what are we going to shift?
Ash and I, Ash is my fiance, and we had a hotel moment too. It was 2.5 years ago. I was doing the zone event, and we put about 500 people in our zone event, 400 to 500 people, and I was going to the event, and I just was like, he wanted me to spend weekends in Corona Del Mar because we have another house in Corona Del Mar, and we were going to the event, and I was like, babe, I've got to stay here and work. It's just the season that I have to work. And he looks at me and he says, So let me ask you a question. Are you gonna are you gonna stop doing events, or are you going to ship your family off to a hotel for the 2 months before the event? And I was like, good point. And I changed my attitude in the moment, and I used going to Corona Del Mar on the weekends as a way to stretch my capacity to hold more. I've never had a stressful event since then. In fact, we were laughing. We were just laughing at an event that actually Nick Unsworth put on, the Green Room, and we went there and we were chuckling because I got up to share one of our strategies, got voted in to share with the group, and I said, Ash didn't even know I did. Like, we went into the last zone event. He's like, "Oh, it's already here!" Like, he had no idea.
That's awesome.
He had no idea that it was even happening, right? And so, I think it's really critical to one thing we're not doing that I think we could be doing from something that you're sharing right now is we probably don't sit down and analyze what we will or not do. We have separate companies, and we, our companies does multiple six figures every single month. And we keep it simple as well. However, I work within my company. He works within his company. We probably could do better communication. Like, I'm learning from you on how you guys sit down and talk about, like, what are our priorities. And a level 10, that's a signature program right there. Have a level 10 life and a level 10 business and choose from that place. I think that's a brilliant way of measuring things. Dan Sullivan always says, if it can't be measured, it can't be grown. And I'm a huge believer in that. So I think that's a beautiful thing that we can all take away from this. And
the thing about it is, us moms who, I'd imagine the most of the audience that's here, they are doing a pretty good job of trying to do it all. Yeah. And the thing is that we're generally multi-talented. There's a lot we can do. We're competent women. Yeah. And it's even more critical for us to distinguish even a 9.9 from a 10. Yeah. An 8, a 9, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Yeah. And so really carefully evaluating that.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant because I don't know about you, but like when I hired a personal assistant, I actually felt guilty that they were doing my grocery shopping for me. And I don't cook as much as I would love to learn how to cook. I really don't cook. We have someone cook for us so that I have dinner every night with Zach or with Ash and Zach, depending on what Ash is doing. But I have dinner with baby Zach every single night. And we have breakfast together as a family. And so those are non-negotiables for me. Do you know what I mean? And
it is so critical for us to define for us what kind of mom we want to be.
Yeah, but if I was trying to cook, clean, run a business, work out.
Exactly.
It's just too much.
Well, for me, like I had a mom, it's easy to compare ourselves. And I made the same decision as you. I said, I want to be with my kids, but I don't want to be remembered as the mom that they saw from the back of her head at the sink, at the stove, or at the washing machine. So I was like, I'm not going to do those things. And then I had another mom whose kid was like 9 and reading high school level books. And I was like, nope, that's not going to be me either. Like, I'm just going to be okay with not teaching my kid like college in first grade,
Yeah. I think it's, I read a book called Baby Brain Rules, and it was one of the best books I read as a mom. And it shared a piece that I'll never forget. And it said, people plan their careers and plan their fitness and plan their eating habits, but they actually don't sit down and say, what's my goal as a parent? You know what I mean? What's my goal as a mom? What's my goal as a wife? And we just we expect everything to work out, but without an actual plan or what you're working into or what your vision is, it's really hard to hit something that really doesn't have a vision other than it's like working forever and just working. It's just like doesn't work, right? It's just a poor existence of what's possible. Let's get into some business strategy. This is Moms Making Millions, and so the moms watching this, keep in mind that some of them are already making millions. We have some of my clients that are watching this, and they're already making millions, and then we have people who are just getting started, who are, they maybe don't even know what their signature program is or what that's going to look like. And you had a lot of kind of aha moments around really what exploded your business. So if I was to ask you, what was the best decision you've made in business to date with all of your experience being a mom and being a businesswoman?
It's answering the question, if this were the last year of your life, what do you have to do?
I love your mindset. It's great. It's great. It's very grounding.
It's like, what do you have to create that's going to outlive you, that you're willing to do even if you failed? What is that? And then like put no plan B, like let go of the plan B stuff, or the in order to, I'm doing this so that one day I could do this. Like skip over the plan B, go straight to plan A as if this were the last year of your life. Pour your heart and soul, figure out who's got that business model down, help in creating the business model. You don't have time to mess around, and focus your attention on your genius of creating that body of work and putting it out there.
I love that. Share a little bit about when that happened for you.
So several years ago, I had gotten to the top of my network marketing business. It was the second time I had done it, but I started to realize, wait a minute, I'm in the same ocean, a different boat, and I don't really own this. I had said I wanted to be one of the top income earners. I was number 2, and I still wasn't able to give the kind of input that the company would take. And I was like, you know what? I don't own it. And what do I love? I don't love everyone having my cell phone. I love speaking. I love coaching. I love empowering people. And so I'm going to go out on my own. And I sold a portion of that business. And so I still have a residual income from it, but I sold the majority of it. And I said, I'm going to go and be a coach. Well, the problem was, for about 18 months, I invested in a whole bunch of different people's models and struggled to create clients. And even, I hired Nick, and that's how you and I got introduced. And
Nick's brilliant.
And he said, what's the market want? What's the market want? And I was trying to do all these things based on what the market wanted. And I wasn't creating clients. I'd taken our last credit card, 0% interest credit card. I was like, I'm going to launch something online. It was the first time I was going to go online 2 years ago. And like the blank hit the fan. Like everything wrong that could happen happened. And I was in tears in our minivan that I had bought, because instead of having our luxury cars that I was accustomed to, I was like, I'm going to invest in coaches.
Yeah.
And I'm going to downgrade and get this minivan, which we bought off eBay for $6,000. I was like, okay, the money is going towards the business instead of cars. And I was sitting in that minivan in tears at my husband's track. He's a track coach. And I'm sitting in the parking lot in tears, and he's like, babe, what's going on? I go, I don't know what I'm not getting. I've been successful at other things. Why is this my dream and I'm not getting it? And he said, what do you need to hear right now? And I said, he goes, what if you're going through this so that you can help your clients when they're facing this? I had no idea he was being prophetic in the moment. And I said, I need to hear ABC 1, 2, 3. Do this in this order, because I'm willing to do it. I'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And at that time, one of my coaches called, and he goes, what's going on? And I was like, I'm trying to give the market what the market wants. And he goes, beep, the market. And that's when he asked me the question. He said, if this were the last year of your life, what would you do? And I said, I have to share my message. And he said, well, then go do that. And I launched what I was launching at the time, but I got people on the phone, and they could hear that I was alive. They could hear that I was tapped into my purpose. And they're like, I don't even know what you're selling, but whatever you're selling, I'm in. And I created 30,000 in a week for struggling for 18 months in my coaching practice to 30,000 in that week.
Well, but you also have a level of charisma and passion. Like, I think anybody watching this can see that you have an it factor to you. Like, you've got this, you know what I mean? Like, you are tapped in. Like, you talk divine partnership. You are tapped in. And when you're tapped in like that and you're willing to be bold and put it out there, people don't buy things, they buy people. And it's an energy thing, right? And so it's I'm actually doing some stuff with Dan Sullivan right now around mindset and what people are actually buying and not buying. And there's the internet marketing world, which I don't consider myself part of. I market on the internet, but I'm a business strategist, right? And so it's funny to watch like real businesses that are, people have like 6 years of disposable income. Like there's a whole nother world outside of the IM market that is more than just webinars, more than just funnels that actually, but it takes like this stick in the ground to say, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? And I'll venture to say the collage of all the people you have worked with and the journey that you've taken have all worked together. Like when I went to go find Ash, I did Ash, my fiance, I did a video summit called The Love Trap Live, How Successful Women Struggle to Find the Right Man. And I did that to keep myself in the conversation.
Yeah.
Right? Just to keep myself focused on it. Then I hired Cherry Norris as a relationship coach, and she made me date 5 times a week. And then I hired Allison Armstrong and I tempoed it. I put all of this together. And so whether you're the seed or you're the pop for someone, or whether they've been for you, it's a collage of all of the partnerships together that have people actually expand and get to where they want to be. And so, I love that your husband was a part of that. Like he was a part of and I think people need to hear that, because you are a certain woman that is dedicated and committed, and you are attracting that around you that are there to support you to get there. And even in the minivan moments, if people are having them right now, it's just, you got to just really recognize that it's all happening for you to lift you up and to keep staying committed, because somebody will help you pop. Right? Yeah. Somebody will help you pop. What I definitely can say is doing it in isolation. I think it's critical for people to hire coaches. Bill Gates has a coach, Steve Jobs had a coach, Lance Armstrong, whether you like him or don't like him, has multiple coaches. None of them can tell him more about riding a bike than he knows. You know what I mean? Like, it just, at the end of the day, we just don't do it in isolation. And you want to talk God or spirituality. I mean, I just did my first Bible study course because I've been doing A Course in Miracles and all of that stuff for God knows how many years, which the collage of that helped me pop. But I did a Bible study course, and it was all about the fact that once you're done the course, don't unplug, because isolation is where the enemy gets you, right? And I think a lot of entrepreneurs are living in isolation, and that's something that you didn't do. You were committed out of your mind.
You can't do it alone, and you can't do it in integrity to expect your clients to invest in you, and you're not investing. I mean, I invest substantially, and I'm like, if I get one idea,
it all comes together.
$20K that I invested, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Or for that coach, I have multiple coaches in different areas, and the key is to find somebody who has that blueprint. Like for us, now I tell my clients, I teach you the ABC 1, 2, 3 that I wish I knew back then, to reverse engineer what you're creating and what needs to be in place. But no matter who you work with, it's saying, okay, and you can have people who, like I had a relationship coach. I have a mastermind. I have a couple of masterminds I'm in that I get different things out of each one. Yeah. But you can't be in isolation, because entrepreneurship is a personal development journey, and you have to be surrounded by people who are thinking at a level 10.
Yeah.
Is saying like what's possible, and not getting, and the mistake a lot of people do is they get the advice from their friends, their family, even their spouse.
Yeah.
But they're not proven in what they have, your model that you're trying to create. Go find somebody to advise you in that, so your friends can be your friends.
Yeah.
And that you can really just, not be trying to piecemeal it together, but follow a proven path and follow it all the way through.
And be okay with failing forward. Do you know what I mean? Like you got to be okay with failing forward because, you know, not every, I don't know how to explain it other than 100% of the time, what I teach or you teach is not going to work. It's not. If you work with enough people, it's not. However, what's going to happen is as people are learning how to do things and work them out, they're going to fail forward. Like we have a girl who, Alba, she did a list build and um, she was so hungry. I'll never forget her getting on a phone. She's like, I'm hungry. She calls herself the cockroach that will never die. And I just love her. I love her. And she even called my accounting department and actually tried to like replace my accountant to become the accountant. Like she is just a cockroach that will not die, right? Like she has balls. I love her. And she's one of my favorite people because of it. But she built a list of 300 people. She sold $30,000 to those 300 people. She was ready. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You have other people who build 3,000 people who do nothing with them because they're still confused about making a decision, right? And so whatever your journey is, it's key. I mean, I listen to you, I listen to myself, I listen to my peers. All of us who have made it keep trying, and we keep working at it until we actually pop. And so something that you've done really well that I think that we need to hear about, and I think that you model and exempt, is keep that family unit together as you're driving this ambition forward. So I know we're coming to an end of our interview, and I feel like I could actually talk to you for another half an hour. Share with us what you're willing to give our moms watching this so that they have the support at home so that they can go to the next level.
Yeah, so at first I sent your team a gift that was marketing and business related. And I was like, you know what? I really had to pause and stop and say, you know what? This is Moms Making Millions. And one of the things is that it's our tendency, if we're not careful, to put our kids first or our business first. Meanwhile, marriage is like last on the list. When in reality, it's that marriage that's the core of the family, and the kids feel the security and love and everything that we want to give them from that being solid, and the kids are the addition to that family unit first. And so the gift that I'm giving away is, how do you balance your marriage and your business and being a mom at the same time? And it gives some very specific tools of how to get on the same page with your spouse, the important conversations that you need to have about what are you doing, why are you doing it, prioritizing, saying this is what we're willing to do, not do. And then even I put in there, whenever conflict does come up, this strategy that my husband and I use, it just is, it's like our miracle resource for not triggering each other, but really get into the root of it, where we just, it's a multi-step process that I put in there. And I'm so real in that audio and in the workbook that I've given about balancing marriage and business. And I share even how when we got to a really, really stressful journey in our 17 years of being married, where we were like talking about divorce, like we put it on the table, and then we're like, no, that's not what we really want. So how can we co-create the marriage that we want? And so over the last 4 years, it's been the closest, our sex life the most amazing. And no matter where business is, we're so tight like that. And he's always been my biggest cheerleader. And so I want that for the viewers, because whatever your journey is in entrepreneurship, ups and downs, if you don't have those core relationships solid, you miss the joy of why we're doing it all in the first place. So that's my gift to your audience, is a balancing marriage and business.
I love that, and I'm going to read through it too, because I think that we can always get stronger in that too. Okay, so, and they grab that at, what's the URL? I know it's coming across the bottom and has been, but what's the URL?
It's 6-figure income stream with the number 6, because I have multiple streams of income. 6figureincomestream.com/marriage gift.
Awesome. All right, Mrs. Vanessa. It was great having you on Moms Making Millions, and for everybody watching, I hope that this not only just inspired you, but know that Vanessa is a powerhouse in business. She can teach you business strategies. She can teach you the simple formulas and funnels that they're doing to be able to build not only network marketing businesses, but also coaching businesses and other real businesses. And so you can always grab her marriage book and learn more about the business side of it as well, because you're probably curious about wanting to dig more into her mind around that. And I echo her 100%. One of the number one reasons why I see people quit is when things get hard, they look to their families and they see them in the next room and say, I really need to be spending time with them. And so I think
you can have it all. You really can have both.
You can have both, for sure. So with that being said, thanks for watching Moms Making Millions, and we will see you in your inbox very soon.